What up? It's your boy T-Bear and Reaction. Today is the makeup for Films Friday. Now we about to get into the meat and potato of what would be Films Friday. That's the Damn Kill Count. This week is the series week though. I originally was gonna I pushed a lot of things back because I wanted to return the poll week, but you know, the block had happened. My situation where we all had COVID and my son was going through some things. Everybody's good now and doing way better as well now. And then I get blocked, and then I get on lockdown because of community strike of an old video. Either way, without further ado, we're gonna check out the kill count. We're continuing the Alien vs Predator series, and now we're on to Predator 2, which came out in 1990, and after that we returned to Aliens in 1983. Predator 2, I think was low-key the first Predator I got introduced into Predator as well too, for hearing about the first one. And this one starring Danny Glover though. It was interesting. I thought it was a crazy wild movie when I watched it with my brother at the time as well too though. Other than that, so to me it was a cool movie, but I think a lot of series they said it wasn't their favorite, but either way, it was a cool movie to me. So without further ado, and see Danny Glover, you know, coming from leaving the series to doing shit like this, it was pretty awesome to watch. So other than that, without further ado, let's check out Predator 2 Kill Count from 1990. Let's get it.
Movie footage used in the kill.
Yeah, and you can tell this is his older video as well too, because this is when all of us, including myself, was putting these in here because YouTube had a little more for a while as well too with copyright strikes. Now they're going crazy with community strikes. Yeah.
Count is owned entirely by the copyright holder.
YouTube is a love-hate relationship sometimes. I'll tell you.
Meat makes no claim of ownership and simply uses the footage for purposes of education, commentary, and criticism under fair use. Please support filmmakers and the art of filmmaking by watching Predator 2 in its entirety using the links in the description below. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Predator 2, the city-based sequel to Predator that came out in 1990. Predator 2 has a few things in common with the original. For instance, it was written by the same pair of brothers, Jim and John Thomas. The music is by Alan Silvestri again. And although this film's city hunter Predator is a new individual, it's once again played by Kevin Peter Hall. But the differences from the original are much more noticeable. Namely, Arnold Schwarzenegger has been replaced with Danny Glover, and the lush foliage of the jungle with the ugly streets of Los Angeles. In fact, a lot of this movie is ugly, from the clothes that everyone's wearing to its portrayal of civilization, since everyone's packing heat and ready to get into a shootout at the drop of a hat. Predator 2 is often mocked as an awful movie, and you know what? That's fine. It is. But it's also batshit crazy enough to be a fun kind of awful. I mean, hell, it's got a voodoo gangster drug lord, Gary frickin' Busey, and ridiculous lines like this.
And we had Calvin Lockhart. I think it was one of his final roles too, Calvin Lockhart.
Which means you're cutting off my dick and shoving it up my ass.
What more evidence do you need? The cool thing about Predator 2 is that we get to see a lot more of the Predator, who's a total badass all of the time. Again, thanks Stan Winston. With a city full of people to murder, I'll bet the body count is high. Let's find out how high and get to the kills. The movie begins in the jungle, only we ain't talking Central America, baby. We talking the concrete jungle of Los Angeles in a fictional dystopia in 1997. As evidenced by these first Predator POV shots, the dreadlocked hunter has already found a home in this city that currently looks like a frickin' war zone.
We're in a war zone, Dave.
See? And to be fair, this was made during the powder keg period of LA that led to the Rodney King riot, so not too far off, honestly. The first cop we see lying in the street isn't dead, just injured. But during the shootout between the LAPD and this Colombian gang named Scorpios, led by this long-haired fellow, El Scorpio, we do get 4 kills to kick off the count with. All cops who get shot by the gang members and fall down dead, or are wheeled away dead on a stretcher. This time, I'm not gonna count these stunt actor flip boys because they're in body armor and I think they'd be okay. A sleazy reporter, played by the sleazy Morton Downey Jr., says the situation is not going well for the LAPD.
They're outgunned.
Outgunned?
They're outmanned.
Outmanned? They're even outnumbered and outplanned. Good thing here comes the Harrigan. LAPD Lieutenant Mike Harrigan, that is, played by Danny Glover. He enters the fray and runs up to join his partners, detectives Danny Archuleta and Leona Cantrell. They've been trying to protect the injured motorcycle cops lying in the road.
They're dying, man!
Harrigan is happy to break through the Scorpio's defense
crazy.
line by hanging out of a police car as he drives it up to the gang members. It's ridiculous, but I'm happy that Glover gets to be more Riggs than Murtaugh.
Very
for
tough,
once. The
right?
Scorpios are scared off by Harrigan's crazy antics, and as they retreat back inside to their hideout, one of them is shot and killed by Leona. With that open shirt and gold chain, I'll just call him Mr. GTA, because that's what he looks like. As the surviving Scorpios gear up with guns and powder their noses, another cop is added to the list when a bunch of gang members shoot him off of his rooftop position. Harrigan gets revenge for the nameless officer when he routs the gang members dug in like a bunch of California ticks and opens fire on them, killing all 4 that were standing there. Don't get on me about how you see 5 bodies on the ground when he's done. That 5th one belongs to Mr. GTA from earlier. Harrigan's told by Danny that they have orders to stand by and wait for a special unit to arrive, but Harrigan's a cop in a 90s action movie, so you know he ain't about to be following orders. When they get inside, El Scorpio backs out of a room firing his guns at something and ends up turning his Uzis onto a random cop in the hallway, who is shot, killed, and added to the list. El Scorpio flees to the rooftop where he's being watched by the Predator and aimed at by Harrigan after he follows him up there. But when a spooked out El Scorpio sees the cloaked Predator and goes to fire at him, Harrigan opens fire on El Scorpio and shoots him straight off the roof. I don't know for sure, but I'm assuming the stunt was actually done by El Scorpio's actor Henry Kingi, a veteran stunt performer. His body winds up down below on the set's crafty table. Back inside, the detectives find the rest of El Scorpio's gang dead in their hideout alongside a massive stockpile of weapons. As they check out the crime scene and wonder what the hell did this, they see 4 bodies in reasonable positions and 1 hanging upside down from the ceiling. Oh, and is he naked too? That sounds like the calling card of a predator. Waiting for Harrigan outside is Deputy Chief of Police Heineman, an old friend of his who's gone brass. He yells at Harrigan for disobeying orders to stay outside since the situation was supposed to be handled by these feds who all bought the same generic federal agent costume from Halloween USA. They're led by this Buddy Holly looking dude named Keys, played by Gary Busey of course, who meets Harrigan back at the police station. He explains why he's there.
We're attempting to prevent King Willie's voodoo gangs from taking over and controlling the entire West Coast.
Oh, okay, to stop a voodoo gang from taking over an entire coast of the US. Got it. In Harrigan's office, Danny points out the newly transferred officer in their unit, Detective Jerry Lambert, played by Kill Count veteran Bill Paxton, doing his whole Bill Paxton shtick. Dialed up to 11. His goofballing gets him a nut grab by Leona after he doesn't leave her alone. Harrigan is skeptical of Jerry's talents too, suspecting him of just being a showbo, but I guess a unit's a unit.
Welcome to the war.
Cut to the LA skyline
so sad
and a
he
couple of
passed, man.
push-ins on a graphic sex scene through the window. It gets interrupted by some Jamaican gang members who storm in and start the scene with 3 kills after they assassinate the security guards who are outside of this bedroom. The Jamaicans are led by this dude Goldtooth and are here for Colombian gang member Ramon Vega, who they hang upside down from the ceiling, naked, while they hold his lover hostage, also naked. After prepping this dead meat with some barbecue sauce and saying a line that the Predator must have overheard,
Shit happens.
Goldtooth stabs right into Vega's chest. Apparently, he also rips out his heart, although we don't really see that done too explicitly. That's because into the scene steps Predator, who opens fire on the Jamaican gang and kills the whole lot of them using a variety of Predator tricks. After the initial shoulder cannon blast, he uses a new net gun to pin a dude against a wall, and that guy ends up getting shot by his own buddies. He sends a spearhead projectile straight through the hat and head of another dude, and uses his blade gauntlet to stab a 4th guy with a reverse-facing Dylan maneuver. The last lackey is killed by another one of Predator's new weapons, this telescoping spear. After all of his henchmen are dead, Goldtooth steps out to face the now visible Predator on his own, only to get killed in a zoomed-in POV shot that actually has a nice little joke in it when you notice that Predator's thermal vision doesn't quite register Goldtooth's Goldtooth. Nice. Harrigan gets to the crime scene only to be told yet again that their orders are to stay out of it. Yet again, Harrigan's a rogue cop who doesn't play by the rules. They go up to the penthouse where they enter to find the bodies hung up and skinned in classic Predator style. They even replicate that close-up jump scare from the corpse of Jim Hopper in the original. They also find Vega's paramour, who the Predator left alive since this chick wasn't even armed with any clothes. Harrigan surmises that a new 3rd gang is responsible for both this scene and the Scorpio massacre downtown, but as they're looking at clues in the form of the spear-tip weapon lodged in a vent way up high, the feds walk in with a whole bunch of bright lights and take over the scene. Keys tells Harrigan that if he gets in his way again, he'll make him disappear, which you don't want to hear coming from a federal agent. Later that night, Danny returns to the crime scene on his own to check out that spear tip they saw. I'm still not sure how that got up there. We saw the deaths take place, and the one with the spear tip was not traveling in an upward trajectory. But who am I to question this space alien hunter movie? In any case, after he retrieves it, who would show up but Mr. Apex himself, imitating Harrigan's voice he heard earlier.
Danny boy.
The Predator catches Danny as he falls and then pulls him up out of the ceiling and himself by killing him off screen. Danny's friendship bracelet or whatever falls to the ground and gets blood drizzled on it from a ketchup bottle. puddle by the looks of it. Upset over Danny's death, Harrigan assaults Keyes for information, but is told that
I don't care where any movie, any kind of movie, no matter what it is, seeing Danny Glover lose his shit is always gold. I'm sorry. It's always gold. No matter what character he plays, seeing Danny Glover lose his shit is always gold with his little big old mouth. But like, it's always good. It's always gold seeing Danny Glover lose his shit, man. Let me go back.
Upset over Danny's death, Harrigan assaults Keyes for information, but is told that this whole thing is way above his pay grade.
The concept of what you're dealing with is way over your head.
Next, he seeks out this lady, Dr. Richards, for help identifying the weapon that Danny was trying to retrieve. But when she examines it, using the mother superior of all computer technology, she discovers something shocking.
This material doesn't correspond to anything on the periodic table.
That's, I mean, that's pretty unlikely if you know, like, science, but whatever, man, it's science fiction. I'm down to roll with it. Kinda like how Harrigan is down to roll with these Jamaican gang members who pull up in a zebra-top caddy with a frickin' smoke machine inside.
You want some ganja, man?
Yo, if you ain't gonna
Ganja
hit
man.
it, Mike, I bet Predator would take a toke, and he's already high as hell. The caddy takes Harrigan to an alley where he meets with the leader of the Jamaican gang, King Willie, to find out some
Willie.
information on who killed all the gang members and his Danny boy. King Willie's a voodoo man and tells Harrigan that whatever's afflicting them is from t'other side, and I'd take his word for it, Mike. He's got a Jafar staff. That's really all the info Harrigan gets before Willie tells him to go on and get. And after he leaves, Willie gets a visit from the Predator, who jumps down and stomps through an alley puddle in a pretty cool shot, which is followed by another cool shot that shows
This till this day is the coolest shot I saw as a kid. I was like, how the fact that at the time, little kid, not knowing about prosthetic and all that, I thought like how the kill went and everything. I'll tell you the minute after the kill happens.
Predator and the Reflection doing jazz hands. After one cloaked warrior pose and some chants from King Willie, we cut to the gang leader's
Yup.
decapitated head wearing a visage of terror. The king
Right.
is dead. Long live King
The way
Predator.
he did that, the way they did that was awesome. How they did that, he was the next know his head's getting carried. He's those screaming. Then they show him his head decapitated carried. The way they did it, they must have did some good prosthetic because they made that look good, too good on Calvin Lockhart, man.
Predator takes that skull and cleans it off real nice, then adds it to some sort of decorative stand. Ooh. Harrigan goes to a cemetery and visits Danny's gravestone to grieve, while a kid runs around playing a classic game of Scorpios and Jamaicans. He runs into Predator, who analyzes his face and then his weapon, and determines him to not be a threat. So the kid tries to make friends with him.
Want some candy?
Oh God, please don't tell me Predator's about to learn that phrase.
Want some candy?
Come on, don't you think that's a little creepy?
Want some candy?
Never mind, it's very creepy. Maybe don't make your character named Predator run around asking people if they want candy.
God damn it, James. God damn it, James. Yeah, I was like, where you gonna go with this? And he went there. Damn it.
Harrigan calls up his team to talk cop shop, and Dr. Richards tells him that Danny's body had traces of a slaughterhouse on it. So Harrigan tells Leona and Jerry to take a subway to meet him in order to avoid being traced by Keyes. You don't want Gary Busey following you, you know? On the subway, Jerry and Leona see a bunch of ne'er-do-wells harassing some women and trying to mug a guy who's just sitting there, probably trying to do some crosswords. Dude pulls a gun out on them, then one of the gang members pulls a gun, and then like everyone on the subway pulls a gun.
They
The
had
cops join
enough.
in too, and now everybody's a prime target for the Predator.
Because they had enough. Like, oh, we had enough of this war zone. We gonna get some guns too.
Who attacks the train from above, busting through into the car and knocking out all the lights. This was another particularly annoying scene to kill count, but my painstaking efforts resulted in a count of 9. First is this gang member who's slashed by Pretty Boy and thrown into Leona. Next is the gang member with a real Cuban flair to his attire who also gets slashed by Predator. Another gang member is grabbed by the throat, lifted up, and presumably choked to death. A fourth is thrown through the subway window as it zooms along the tunnel, and the last is shown with a bloody throat. 4 civilians join the count as well, including the guy who was gonna get mugged after he unwisely walks through no man's land, and 3 of those armed folks who are killed during Predator vision by him just grabbing them, I guess. As Leona leads all the other civilians to safer carts on the subway, Jerry tries to take the Predator on by himself, using all his ammo on him, and eventually grabbing a corpse's knife. He's rewarded with the creepiest last words you could ever hear.
Want some candy?
Really?
With that, Jerry is killed since we hear his scream echo through the tunnel, and Leona confirms the kill after the train stops and she sees his body hanging upside down from the ceiling of the subway car. Predator then appears in front of her and grabs her by the throat, but when its thermal vision detects a little bun in the oven, she's apparently spared since Harrigan finds her being rescued when he arrives. Maybe everyone who attacks Predator should pregame by strapping a bunch of babies to themselves. Harrigan heads down to
What's the name of that damn game that Norman Reedus is on? That's what you got me thinking of that damn game he on. What's that game he's on? Death Stranding. Yeah, like it's on Death Stranding. That's a weird ass game, by the way.
the subway tunnel, where he sees from a distance the Predator ripping out Jerry's skull and spine and tossing his body aside. He follows him back up to the surface, then pursues the Predator in his car, and he even gets a good look at the alien climbing up the side of a building before his pursuit is cut off with a truck smash. It's the feds, and after they abduct him out of his car and take away his gun, they march him into the back of a trailer that has a high-tech Death Star door. Too bad you got picked up before you saw the best shot of the movie, Harrigan. The Predator standing on top of a building with his spear and skull decoration, getting frickin' zapped by lightning and just taking it like a total G. God damn, Predator, you're so fucking cool, dude. Keyes walks up to Harrigan wearing a Devo costume and for whatever reason just starts blabbing all about the Predator to him, even mentioning the events of the first movie. Oh, and look, there's a cameo from Anna on one of those monitors too. When Harrigan doesn't seem to understand, Keyes spells it out for him.
A fucking alien.
Even though Harrigan is not reacting appropriately to that reality-altering news, Keyes continues and tells him they've set up a trap in a slaughterhouse that the Predator keeps coming back to for food. Their plan is to capture the alien and learn from it. Keyes heads inside the slaughterhouse with a bunch of other dudes who are also wearing Jiffy Pop foil that should make them invisible to Predator's infrared vision. Harrigan stays back to watch them on monitors inside the trailer, and I'm sure he'll follow orders this time and just stay out of it. Predator comes inside the warehouse and isn't fooled for a second by the shady shit he senses. He quickly realizes that he can't see anyone else inside, so he switches his vision to a mode that lets him see the flashlight beams that Keyes and his men are using. Harrigan realizes that things are going tits up, so of course he defies his orders, and with one knee to a crotch and a gun to a head, he heads out to go help the dudes inside. But you know they dead, dear viewers, so let's get him on the kill count. Predator drops from the ceiling and kills 3 of Keyes' dudes immediately with his spear, impaling them and tossing them off the walkway. Aw, Predator, now you're gonna have to go get those when it's trophy time. For the last guy, he takes out his bomb-ass shoulder cannon and lines up the shot with his laser pointer, then kills the dude with a single blast to the chest. Whose house? Pred's house. Now the only one left is Keyes, but as Predator lines up a shot on him, a big explosion happens behind him because Harrigan has entered the arena. Keyes actually still gets a face full of plasma, or so it seems, because this doesn't kill him, as we'll see in a second.
Wow.
And now we begin the Harrigan-Predator cat and mouse fight that will literally take up the last 30 minutes of this movie. First they shoot at each other between a bunch of meat, and then run through the hanging carcasses like they're an obstacle at DZ Discovery Zone. Harrigan eventually shoots Predator a bunch of times in the fishnets and gets him down on the ground, and he takes that opportunity to demask his foe.
Here we
Really
go.
not sure you want to do that, dude.
Yeah,
This
it
thing
will.
is gross. It's like a deep sea
go.
fish got hit with an ugly rudder. Together, the two of them recite Arnie's famous line from the first movie.
You are one ugly mother.
The reawakened Predator tosses Harrigan aside.
That
and is
part
all ready
was
to kill
so. Oh, that was so funny right there. He's like, oh, I'm ugly motherfucker, right? You know, when he said it, I died. I died. You want other draw, motherfucker? He like he knew he was gonna say, I love it.
line from the
I
first
love it.
You are one ugly mother.
The reawakened Predator tosses Harrigan aside and is all ready to kill him when out jumps Keyes.
Guess who's back?
Keyes blasts Predator with his frost gun thing, but Predator gets out of range and takes out another cool new weapon, the Smart Disc. This
Smart
thing
Disc.
may not have a Facebook app on it, but it can cut through meat carcasses and Gary Busey like nothing, as it shows when Keyes gets cut in half behind some meat. I'm not sure what happened to his upper body. I feel like it should have fallen to the floor,
Right.
but these movies don't have the best track record when it comes to consistent death effects. Harrigan takes the fight to the roof, where Predator takes a huff from his mask and eventually gets tackled off the edge by Harrigan, who somehow manages to cling to the side of the building. Predator says one of his new favorite phrases to Harrigan.
Shit happens.
then shows how his entire fucking species consists of poor losers, since he beep boops on his wrist pad and activates a self-destruct sequence just like the one in the original did. Before it can go off though, Harrigan grabs the nearby smart disc and severs Predator's arm with it, sending the alien down the side of the wall in a really great stunt where performer Dave Smith actually fell down a 13-story building for it. Oh, also, apparently that stopped the self-destruct thing. Predator grabs a pipe that comes undone and sends him across the alley into a random apartment bathroom. Using a mixture of drywall and, I don't know, blue juice, he cooks up a salve that looks like a Heisenberg special and uses it to heal himself. Meanwhile, Harrigan gives chase by climbing down the building wall and across the alleyway on those pipes. The Predator busts out of the bathroom and runs out the front door of the apartment he was in. And the woman who lives there acts way too glib about the alien she just saw when Harrigan shows up in pursuit.
It's all right. I'm a cop.
I don't think he gives a shit.
Harrigan follows the Predator to the elevator shaft where he grabs a cable and begins to climb down. But when the elevator cart starts up, Harrigan winds up falling down the shaft and through a hole into darkness, where he eventually lands on a motherfucking alien spaceship, dog! Wait a minute, this thing was parked under an apartment building and accessible by elevator shaft? This movie's fucking bonkers, y'all. Harrigan carries the smart disc into a big chamber where he finds the Predator's trophy case, which is full of all sorts of skulls, including King Willie's and, oh my god, it's a xenomorph skull! Fuck yeah, dude! And also one that kinda looks like a dinosaur. Harrigan ends up getting netted out of nowhere, but luckily the smart disc can cut through it. Then the big showdown finally takes place for real. And even though Predator manages to land a swipe on Harrigan, the last laugh goes to Danny Glover after he stabs the alien with the smart disc right in the belly, then repeats his own favorite taunt back to him. With that, he rips it out of the Predator, who gives a blood-curdling scream that echoes around the spaceship halls and its sub-elevator parking before the Predator finally falls to the ground dead. You may think Harrigan is done, but as he goes to leave, a whole lot more Predators show up and surround him. And we're talking lots of different Predators here, all with their own unique mask designs. The lead Pred's got gray dreads and is known as Grayback, and he's also played by Kevin Peter Hall. Also, totally random, but in my research I found a video of all these Predators dancing on set. Click in the corner to check that shit out, because it is just delightful. The other Preds grab the city hunter's body and cloak themselves as they walk away, but before he leaves, Grayback shows that game recognized game and tosses a pistol to Harrigan. A pistol from 1715? Wow. That is one dope-ass parting gift. And a cool indication of just how long Predators have been predating. The ship starts shaking, so Harrigan gets out of there just in time to avoid the big fire blast behind him that sends him flying through the air. The movie ends with a bunch of cop cars pulling up to the ash-covered Harrigan, who has surely got to be feeling too old for this shit right about now. Did this film's City Hunter nab more kills than his Jungle-bound brethren from the original? Let's find out and get to the numbers. Predator's so cool, man.
Damn, poor James.
There were 45 deaths in Predator 2, so no, not even close to the original in terms of numbers. The victims consisted of 43 human males, 1 human female civilian on the subway, and of course, the city hunter Predator. Yeah, son, get that tri-pie. With a runtime of 108 minutes, we wound up with a kill on average every 2.4 minutes. I'll give the golden chainsaw for coolest kill to King Willie. It's not entirely on screen, but they do a nice edit with the scream for it. Plus his skull winds up on a shrine alongside a xenomorphs. That's more than any of us could ask for in death. Dull machete for lamest kill will go to Danny, who's pulled up onto the roof and killed off screen. I think the ketchup bottle drizzle of fake blood at the end here looks really, really bad. And that's it. Predator 2 is an absolutely insane movie, and although it did okay at the box office, it would be 20 full years before we got the third solo installment of the series. I'm talking about 2010's Predators, which I'll cover next week, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Thanks a lot for-
Alright, cool. There you have it, though. We have that's Predator 2, I'm saying. Alright, so next time I'm doing in the Predator Alien vs. Predator franchise, we're gonna check out Aliens 3. And then, let me see. I'm trying to see the order of the other aliens. Let me see. Alien. There's 3 kill count. See, Aliens 3 definitely is gonna be next. Yep, that's gonna be next. It came out in 1992. Then I think it's Alien Resurrection, which came in 97, and Predator, and there's Predators, I'm trying to figure a kill count, and I think Predators came out in 2010, but when their AVP kill count, when that first came out. The first time, so we got a while till we get to Predators. So once we do Aliens 3 and Aliens Resurrection, the next one we'll be checking out was the Alien vs. Predators series. The actual Alien vs. Predators there's movies as well too. But other than that, until we get to Predators as well as the Aliens prequels and extras and prequels and whatever you want to call it, as well to include Prometheus. Well, other than that, if you like my reaction, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's your boy T-Bird signing off. One love.